The Crimean War, which broke out in 1853, not only changed the situation in Europe but also had a significant impact on military technology. The coalition forces of France and the United Kingdom used some new weapons during this war, including a type of floating gun platform protected by armor plating and armed with explosive ammunition. These new weapons caused massive destruction to the coastal defenses and wooden ships at the time, and had a huge impact on the emergence of ironclad ships. In 1858, France began constructing the world's first specialized ironclad ship, the Gloire, designed by Henri Dupuy de Lomé. The designer had been a proponent of ironclad ships for a long time, and the Crimean War made the French authorities realize that they could not establish a navy larger than the Royal Navy in a short period of time. As a potential competitor, the French decided to rely on new technology to seek a breakthrough and achieve superiority in quality. The Gloire had a displacement of 5,630 tons and was a hybrid-powered ironclad ship with sail and steam engines. It had a length of 78.22 meters and a very wide hull, with a maximum beam of 17 meters, leading to poor seafaring capabilities and inability to cope with rough sea conditions. Unlike the dominant British at the time, France, due to issues with iron production, did not design all-metal warships like the British. Instead, they used armored plating added to the hull, supported by 43 centimeters thick wood, and the thickness of the armored plates on both sides reached 120 millimeters, covering almost the entire sides. This armor thickness could withstand the impact of the naval 50-pound and 68-pound cannons at the time and effectively resist explosive ammunition. In addition, 100 millimeters thick armored plates were installed around the command tower for protection, which was considered first class in terms of protection at the time, although it may have been slightly inferior compared to the slightly later appearance of the British all-metal ironclad ships. While the armor increased the defensive capability, it also brought about a significant change in weight distribution, making it impossible for the warship to mount cannons on multiple decks like previous sail warships. Therefore, the Gloire simply removed the upper deck cannons, initially installing a total of 36 165 mm muzzle-loading cannons on both sides. Later, the weapon configuration changed to 6 240 mm breech-loading cannons and 2 192 mm breech-loading cannons. In terms of power, the warship initially used a lightweight rigging with a sail area of only 1096 square meters, later changed to a full rigging with a sail area increased to 2,508 square meters. The ship's steam engine used a single-shaft propulsion system with an installed power of 2,500 horsepower and 8 boilers. The maximum design speed of the ship exceeded 13 knots, but it reportedly only reached a maximum of 11 knots, and even slower when relying solely on the steam engine, which was also related to the steam engine technology at the time. The entire warship required a crew of 570 officers and men to operate, with a maximum range of 4,000 kilometers. Apart from its iron armor protection, the ship did not have a significant advantage over other warships of the same displacement at the time. Its poor seafaring capabilities were evident, but it still had a serious impact on the shipbuilding industry in the Western world. The leading naval powers, including the United Kingdom, first realized the future of ironclad ships, which would have a huge advantage in combat and render traditional wooden ships ineffective against explosive ammunition, ultimately leading to their obsolescence in the Navy. Thus, a new competition in naval ship technology began, and the Gloire was decommissioned in 1879 and scrapped in 1883.